Good evening, everybody. We are on the last leg of the mic on, of today's lectures. Dr. Sanjay Kalra is the man who is going to speak on diabetic care in respect to Indian philosophy. Dr. Sanjay Kalra is a well-known figure in private practice. He is at Karnal, and everybody knows him. He is a very intellectual endocrinologist. I'll request him to give his deliberations. Dr. Sanjay Kalra, please.
Thank you, sir. And good evening, everybody. We're all gathered here today because we feel for our patients. We want our patients to do well, and we actually want our country to be a happy and healthy country. We do many things to achieve that. We use the best diagnostics, the best monitoring tools that are available. We learn about and we prescribe the best oral drugs, the best insulins. But let's pause for a minute and let's think, what is the average HbA1c of the country? Has anything happened in the past 20 years? जो भी डेटा 20 साल पहले आता था तब भी डबल डिजिट HbA1c था, अब भी डबल डिजिट है. Of course, there are many theories, many hypotheses to explain that. One of the reasons is that all the diabetologists, all the endocrinologists of the country are always busy in diabetology and endocrinology conferences. तो जब कोई घर पे टिकेगा ही नहीं तो वो इलाज कैसे करेगा मरीजों का, और जब वो इलाज ही नहीं करेगा तो HbA1c कैसे डाउन आएगा. फिर कोविड आ गया, सो फिर ये सोचा मे बी दिस हाइपोथेसिस विल बी पुट टू टेस्ट and perhaps the average HbA1c will come down. In my part of the country, in Haryana and Karnal, I actually feel it has come down because my parents, my wife, my children, they tell me that now at least you are sitting at home, you are seeing your patients, and you are speaking better with your patients, conversing better with them. The point I'd like to raise here is that first of all, we need to be with our patients, and we need to be with them in a mindful manner. The second thing is that it is not enough just to know about the latest drugs, the latest insulins. You have to motivate your patients to take those medicines. You have to motivate them to take those medicines in the right manner, in the right way. अगर आप सही मंशा से लिखेंगे और वो सही मंशा से लेंगे दवाई, तो फिर ऑटोमेटिकली आपको सही रिजल्ट्स मिल जाएंगे. Another point I'd like to highlight is that none of us work in isolation. There was a time when we were dependent, that is the colonial era, and we had this concept of dependence. We moved on and then we became independent. So then you will find many people, so many alpha males sitting in the hall, alpha ladies as well. I am independent. I know everything there is to know about diabetes. Because I am a good diabetologist, because I am a good endocrinologist, everyone should touch my feet. There should be a red carpet waiting for me. Patients should come and listen to me. They should agree with whatever I say, and glucose will get controlled. ऐसा नहीं होता. From dependence, you move to independence, but there is another step above that, and that is interdependence. And once you understand that you are just part and parcel of a much larger canvas, a much larger universe, which is interdependent upon each other, that is, I think, the first step towards success. Our chairpersons, why are there 3 chairpersons today? They are interdependent upon each other. Each of them is bringing a separate strength, a different set of knowledge to the table. And when it comes together, now that is a strong table. Similarly, in diabetes care, there are at least 4 stakeholders that are involved. The healthcare system, the people who populate the healthcare system, that is us, the professionals, but equally important, the person living with diabetes and the community that that person lives in. All 4 have to be strengthened equally. This is the quadruple of Atreya coming from Ayurveda. तो अत्रेया ने क्या कहा, जैसे आप एक टेबल पे बैठे हैं तो उसकी 4 टांगे हैं, there are 4 legs. All 4 have to be equally strong. Only then will your table or fulcrum be stable. Similarly, if you are in a team and we've agreed that we have to be interdependent, the team will be only as strong as the weakest member of the team. So all 4 have to be strengthened. Now, how do we strengthen the person living with diabetes? There are so many barriers between us and the patient. We may not feel them, but you ask the patient. Even if the patient doesn't come up with those answers, the data, the statistics from our country tell us that we are not doing a good job. That means the team is not doing well. Who is the weakest link in the team? Let's see how we can figure that out and how we can focus on it. Now, maybe there is a barrier between us and the patient. We are not able to explain. Maybe we are not able to bridge those barriers. But at least we try. How do we try? We try by motivating the patient. And this is what I'd like to focus on today. And I'd like to use Indian philosophy to explain how we can motivate our patients to be healthy, to be happy. Motivation is the impetus or reason for any behavior. We are all gathered here today. There has to be a motivation for coming. The motivation might be learning science. It might be fellowship. The sources of motivation can be internal or external. You wanted to come of your own free will to SPEEDCON, so you came. It can be external. Your best friend is coming. You've not met him in the past 2 years. So therefore you want to come. It's external. Your friend has pushed you. It can be natural. There's a meeting, I will go. You don't think about it at all. I've been invited by Dr. Sameer Agarwal, certainly I will come. It can be rational also. Let me think. My OPD is worth 50,000 rupees a day. Travel to Gurgaon, 7,000 rupees. Should I go, should I not go? Let me count. Cost-benefit ratio, okay, it's equal. No profit, no loss. Let me go to Gurgaon and see what happens. It can be contextual. I will go for this year's SPEEDCON. Maybe next year I will not go. It can be process-based. I will always go for SPEEDCON. The process is external because now Haryana Medical Council wants me to have 20 credit hours a year. So I have to go. At least 11 hours I will get from SPEEDCON. The other 9, let me see whether I get them from Hisar or Ambala or Chandigarh. So this is motivation. Let's put this in the context of the persons who live with diabetes and the persons who care for diabetes. Now, some of the slides that I'll be presenting, I have been trolled brutally for these in the past few years. I have been trolled brutally by people who should have known better. I was very hurt when this happened the first time. Then I realized that it is just a belief system. I carry a particular belief system with me. Other people may not share that belief system. That's fine. That is acceptable. But when I am an individual, I have a right to my beliefs. The moment I become a doctor caring for other people, then I should keep my personal beliefs and biases aside. I should respect the beliefs and biases, the limitations and strengths of my patients. And I am reminded of this parable from the Bible. So, लोगों ने कहा जीसस को कि ये देखो आपके पास 100 भगत हैं, 100 डिसाइपल हैं, आप उनके पास क्यों जा रहे हो जो आपका कहना नहीं मानते? So what he said to them was, if you have 100 sheep, आप shepherd हैं, you have 100 sheep, one of them goes astray, one of them gets lost, what will you do? So the answer was, वो 99 को तो मैं संभाल के रखूँगा, मगर एक जो गुम गई है उसको मैं ढूंढने निकलूँगा. ऐसे ही आपकी ओपीडी में अगर एक भी मरीज़ है जो इंडियन फिलॉसफी में बिलीव करता है, एक भी मरीज़ है 100 में से जो इंडियन फिलॉसफी से मोटिवेट होता है और उस मोटिवेशन से उसकी शुगर या डायबिटीज़ कंट्रोल बेटर होगी, तो आपका फ़र्ज़ है शेफर्ड की तरह, डॉक्टर की तरह उसका ख्याल रखना. बट वाइल यू आर मोटिवेटिंग फॉर पीपल हु लिव विद डायबिटीज़, स्पेयर अ मिनट फॉर योर सेल्फ, योर फैमिली एंड ऑल्सो योर कलीग्स, क्योंकि हमें भी मोटिवेशन चाहिए. वन ऑफ द थिंग्स दैट आई फेस ऑन अ डे टू डे बेसिस इज कंपैशन फटीग. मैं थक जाता हूँ. आई डोंट गेट टायर्ड फिजिकली, आई गेट टायर्ड फ्रॉम अ कंपैशन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. मतलब मॉर्निंग से दिन शुरू होता है, बीबी टीका ले लो, बाबूजी टीका ले लो, ताऊ टीका ले लेना, बट्टी ले ले, टेस्ट करा ले. सो सुबह से लेके शाम तक यही चल रहा होता है. बाय द एंड ऑफ द डे दिल करता है भाई खजमानो खाओ, मैनू जान दो कर, आई एम हंग्री, आई एम थर्स्टी, ऑल आई वांट इज अ ब्रेक. सो दैट इज कंपैशन फटीग. I think that is natural, that is part of life. If it converts into burnout, if it becomes irreversible, then that is not good. One of the good things about coming to SPEEDCON is that you are able to come out of that cycle of compassion fatigue. You are able to rejuvenate yourself, revitalize yourself, and then go back again into that same cycle. So, For motivation, we'll be talking today about Indian philosophy, and Indian philosophy is interlinked with religion. Not one particular religion. Whatever religion we believe in, we are all religious people. So let's talk about how we can use some quotations from our scriptures to help motivate ourselves and our patients. Whether it is the person who is managing diabetes, who needs motivation to do a better job, whether it is the person who is taking care of a person with diabetes, family members who need to go out of the way, and whether it is the person who lives with diabetes, we all need motivation, we all need optimism. And optimism comes from the Holy Quran. The most beloved of all things is good health. तो अगर भगवान को गुड हेल्थ प्यारी है तो हम गुड हेल्थ की कोशिश क्यों ना करें? और भगवान ने सिर्फ यही नहीं कहा कि गुड हेल्थ मुझे प्यारी है, उन्होंने ये कहा मैंने दवाई भी भेजी है तुम्हारे लिए. सो दिस इज फ्रॉम द हदीस. देयर इज अ मेडिसिन फॉर एवरीथिंग एक्सेप्ट फॉर ओल्ड एज. तो जब बुढ़ापा आएगा तो तब आएगा, अभी तो आया नहीं है. डॉक्टर टंडन सर का भी नहीं आया अभी तक, डॉक्टर अर्पण देव का भी नहीं आया, तो मेरा कहाँ से आ गया? हमारे चेयरपर्सन भी जवान है, डॉक्टर श्याम. यस, सो 3 chairs for our chairpersons. So जब बुढ़ापा आएगा तो तब आएगा, अभी तो वी हैव मेडिसिन फॉर यू. तो ये दवाई है, ये मैंने नहीं बनाई, किसी और ने बनवाई है. उससे किसने बनवाई? वो अल्लाह ने या भगवान ने बनवाई है. एंड व्हेन यू यूज दीज ऑप्टिमिस्टिक वर्ड्स and you speak in a happy manner, you are able to create a virtuous cycle of happiness in your OPD. Like I said, I suffer from compassion fatigue sometimes, but then फिर Lord Buddha also tells me कि I am an important person. मैं काम कर रहा हूँ दुनिया में, मदद कर रहा हूँ बाकी लोगों की. I should feel blessed because I have got the opportunity to do that. So I should keep on working to the best of my ability. I should also work because I am saving lives and I am saving the entire world. In other parts of the world, people are killing each other. In my OPD, in my ward, in my ICU, I am saving lives. So balance भी तो बना के रखना है. And अगर मैं ये काम नहीं करता, I am guilty of bloodshed actually. This is from Jewish religion. And when we see Dr. Suneet Verma hai, in Panchkula, when he keeps a person on ventilator for 20 days, 30 days, 40 days, and finally saves that gentleman or lady, and she comes out of the ventilator, that sense of happiness is there. अब थोड़ा सा गाली गलोच वो कर दें, डॉक्टर साहब बिल आपने 10 लाख का बना दिया, 15 लाख का, तो ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं, एक जान तो बची. And so this is again from the Bible. To your faith, faith in my job, the work that I do, to my faith I should add excellence. To my excellence I should add knowledge. ये चीज़ें हम SPEEDCON में सीख रहे हैं. To knowledge I should add self control. थोड़ा सा सात्विक रहने की कोशिश करूं, गुस्सा कम करूं OPD में, खिजूं भी कम, नाराज़ भी कम हूं. To my self control I should add perseverance. वही काम करता रहूं. I should not get bored. अब तो 25 साल के करीब हो गए, डॉक्टर टंडन ने मुझे भी पास किया. ही ऑल्सो सेड गुड रिडंस संजय, आई मीन दोबारा पेपर नहीं मैं ले सकता तेरा, बट इट्स बिन नियरली 2.5 decades now. So perseverance means you keep on doing the same thing, and to perseverance you add godliness, you add a little bit of spirituality. And if you are trained properly, I have been trained by Dr. Nikhil Tandon sir. मैं सर का पहला DM स्टूडेंट था, तो उसके बाद घने सारे स्टूडेंट आए, एंड many people better than me have come. Some of them are sitting in the hall also. Many of them are sitting here in the hall and they are busy on their mobile phones. But पहला तो मैं ही था. पहला और कोई नहीं बन सकता. So if you train yourself and if you train your juniors in the right way, they will keep on following the right path. These words, faith, excellence, knowledge, let us paraphrase them. Self-confidence, self-improvement, self-control. आत्मविश्वास होना चाहिए, मगर घमंड या घरूर नहीं होना चाहिए. And let us paraphrase self-control, perseverance, godliness as pro-work passion, perseverance and piety. एंड यही चीज़ मुझे अपने कॉलेज से दिखती है. आई एम एन अलमनस ऑफ क्रिश्चियन मेडिकल कॉलेज लुधियाना. हमारी जो फाउंडर प्रिंसिपल थी डेम एडिथ ब्राउन, उनका मोटो था माई वर्क इज़ फॉर अ किंग. दिस मोटो कीप्स मी गोइंग इवन टुडे. जब मैं काम करता हूँ तो मैं किसी राजा के लिए कर रहा हूँ. दैट राजा, इट इज़ अप टू मी वेदर आई गिव हिम द नेम ऑफ अल्लाह और जीसस और लॉर्ड कृष्णा और लॉर्ड राम. और वो लॉर्ड कृष्णा और राम किस रूप में मेरी ओपीडी में आ रहे हैं मुझे नहीं पता. ही कैन कम एज अ रिच बिजनेसमैन, ही कैन कम एज द पोरेस्ट फार्मर ऑफ उत्तर प्रदेश. बट अगर मैं एक राजा के लिए काम कर रहा हूँ तो मैं आई विल डू द वर्क टू द बेस्ट ऑफ माई एबिलिटी. जैसे मैं मंदिर में जाके प्रसाद चढ़ाता हूँ बिल्कुल साफ सुथरे तरीके से, अगर वही चीज़ मैं अपनी ओपीडी में ले आऊँ मुझे वही क्वालिटी मिलेगी. एंड आई शुड बिगिन विद माई सेल्फ. सो दिस इज वॉट एन आइडियल डायबिटीज केयर प्रोफेशनल शुड बी. Again, like I said, I have been trolled for these thoughts in the past, maybe in the future also. If this is not something that appeals to you, that's fine. Your king might be Mammon, it might be money. So be it, well and good. Your king might be Lord Krishna or Lord Ram, so be it. But there has to be a king, there has to be someone above you. It might be your wife. तो ठीक है. तो जिस तरह से आप अपनी बीवी की सेवा करते हैं, टांगे दबाते हैं रात को और बताते नहीं हैं किसी और को, उसी तरह से मरीज़ की भी एटलीस्ट वर्बली तो टांगे दबा दे, प्यार से बात कर लें मरीज़ से. एंड फ्रॉम द स्माइल्स ऑफ द यंग बॉयज़ इन द सेंटर आई रियलाइज कि बड़े सारे लोग हैं जो टांगे दबाते हैं बीवी की. आई एम नॉट द ओनली वन. Other things also, and this comes from the Bhagavad Gita. Apart from excellence, you also need equanimity and emotional equipoise. This is something very difficult to actually manage in the OPD. Equipoise, संतुलन, balance बनाना बहुत मुश्किल है. You have patients arguing with you. You have patients getting angry at you. You have patients in avowed denial. मुझे तो शुगर है ही नहीं, आपकी मशीन गलत है. Avowed denial, anger, argumentative patients, apathic patients. डॉक्टर साहब मेरा तो कुछ हो नहीं सकता, आप चाहे जो मर्जी कर लो, आप मुझे 150 यूनिट टीका दे दो, मेरी तो शुगर टूटनी नहीं है. दैट इज एपैथी. एंड एंग्जाइटी. सो एंग्जाइटी इज रिटन ऑन दैट पेशेंट्स फेस व्हेन शी कम्स इनटू यू. सो ऑल दीज एज, अवाउड डिनायल, एंगर, एपैथी, एंग्जाइटी, these 4 A's will encompass the entire spectrum of your difficult patients. And just a single A on the other side of the fence, that is A for acceptance. There are patients who accept their disease, they are willing to accept what you say. अब पहले पुराना ज़माना बहुत अच्छा था, 80% of my patients were A for acceptance. अब पता नहीं क्या हो गया है, but now 80% are in that wrong A side, and always it is tough for me. So maintaining my equipoise in the OPD is sometimes quite difficult. So then I find refuge in the Bhagavad Gita, because the Gita tells me to dispel ignorance using the lamp of knowledge. So if I have knowledge about diabetes, I should share it. And then the Bhagavad Gita also tells me कि अगर मैं supreme बनना चाहूँ, if I want to reach a higher level, I should be able to practice equanimity. So I do try that. It's not that I do not lose my temper, sometimes at friends, sometimes at juniors, sometimes at patients, but फिर माफ़ी भी मांग लेता हूँ, ठीक है, and फिर वो माफ़ भी कर देते हैं मुझे. एक आधा खड़ूस जो नहीं माफ़ करता. But still I try to maintain equipoise in mind, whether it is a favorable or an unfavorable circumstance. And these simple things from the Bhagavad Gita, they actually help me a lot. They help me sort of navigate the difficult phases of my professional and personal life. एक और चीज़ जो मैंने देखी है, contrast between Hinduism and Christianity. अगर आप किसी ईसाई पादरी से बात करेंगे, वो फट से बोलेगा मैथ्यूज़ 2nd book chapter 4 verse 32. अब मैंने तो जाके बाइबल में पढ़ना नहीं है कि वो सही कह रहा है कि नहीं, पर इम्प्रेसिव बड़ा लगता है. ऐसे ही हमारे एमडी में ना वेस्ट बंगाल से लड़के हुआ करते थे. सर हैरिसन हमारे सीनियर रेजिडेंट भी हैं मेरे सर, तो वो हम हरियाणा वाले, सर इन द बुक इट इज़ मेंशन्ड दैट डिजॉक्सिन इज़ गुड फॉर हेल्थ, तो काम चल जाता था. बट जो वेस्ट बंगाल वाले थे वो कहेंगे सर हैरिसन चैप्टर 32 पेज 64 2nd पैराग्राफ फ्रॉम बॉटम, डिजॉक्सिन हाफ टैबलेट ओडी. अब वो तो हमारे एचओडी ने भी नहीं पढ़ा था कभी हैरिसन से, एसआर साहब ने भी नहीं पढ़ा था. बट द पॉइंट इज दैट इफ यू आर कोटिंग द भगवद गीता, नो हार्म इन रिमेंबरिंग द श्लोक एंड द चैप्टर. मेरा फेवरेट है 926, सो आई रिमेंबर दैट इज 9 चैप्टर 9 32. तो कृष्ण भगवान कहते हैं जो भी को मुझे पत्ता, पानी, फल या फूल देगा. अब संस्कृत मुझे आती नहीं, हिंदी भी मैंने क्लास 2 तक पढ़ी ऑनेस्टली, एंड दैट टू इन अ कॉन्वेंट स्कूल इन जलंधर. सो जो भी मुझे पत्ता, पानी, फल या फूल देगा, मैं वो खुशी से स्वीकार करूँगा. सो देन वी टेल आवर पेशेंट्स, अगर कृष्ण भगवान यही 4 चीज़ें ले रहे हैं तो आप भी अपनी डाइट में यही 4 चीज़ें डालें ना. एंड उन्होंने अल्कोहल की बात नहीं की थी, सिर्फ पानी की बात की थी, सोडा की भी नहीं की थी. पेशेंट विल कम बैक एंड से डॉक्टर साहब कृष्ण भगवान तो जी मक्खन खाते थे, आप हमें मक्खन से मना करते हो. सो देन वी टेल देम हाँ जी वो बाल अवस्था में मक्खन खाते थे, अपनी उम्र तो देखो मैडम, एंड साथ में वो वर्जिश करते थे, वो माउंटेन उठाते थे. सो इफ़ यू कैन गो एंड डू वेट लिफ्टिंग देन इट्स फाइन, यू हैव अ राइट टू ईट बटर. और वो कुश्ती भी लड़ते थे, सांप और नाग से कुश्ती लड़ते थे. तो हमारे यहाँ हरियाणा में बड़े सारे सांड और बैल हैं, दे आर ऑल यू नो वॉकिंग ऑन द स्ट्रीट्स. वो गवर्नमेंट wants to keep them happy and healthy and give them democracy. So उनसे अगर आप कुश्ती लड़ते हो, so then again you have a right. But if you are not going to do wrestling, you are not going to sort of do weightlifting, then you don't have a right to the makhan which Lord Krishna ate. Issues ये भी आती हैं, there is a lot of violence against doctors. So sometimes we don't feel like working. It happens to us many times. My wife is a gynecologist, so we are usually at the receiving end of angry patients. But what does the Gita tell you then? Do perform your allotted duty, for action is superior to inaction. And Krishna Bhagwan बोलते हैं गीता में, मैं क्यों काम करता हूँ? He actually answers this question, and he gives two reasons for that. He says, first of all, I do it because whatever a great man does, other people follow. तो अगर कृष्ण भगवान काम करते हैं तो फिर हम भी करेंगे. डॉक्टर वरुण अगर टाइम पे पहुंचते हैं और अपनी ओपीडी में अपने कम्युनिटी मेडिसिन की क्लास में टाइम पे आते हैं और टाइम पे जाते हैं, तो उनके स्टूडेंट्स भी आते हैं. द पीजी स्टूडेंट्स आल्सो डू अ गुड जॉब. एंड दूसरा वो कहते हैं कृष्ण भगवान कि आई वर्क टू मेंटेन माई फिजिकल बॉडी. तो अगर मैं ओपीडी करनी बंद कर दूँ, अगर हम काम करना बंद कर दें, वी विल बिकम सिक फिजिकली, मेंटली, फाइनेंशियली, ऑलवेज. सो वी शुड नॉट बी सिक. प्यार से बात करें, लिसन टू पीपल the way you would want to be listened to yourself. Speak with people you would want to be spoken to by others. And this is irrespective of the religion that you follow. क्योंकि हदीस ये भी कहती हैं कि आपके मुंह से, आपकी ज़ुबान से, आपके बोल से ही तो कुरान बोली जाती है. तो मेक इट फ्रेगरेंट, प्यार से बोलें. उसी मुंह से आपने अगर गाली भी निकालनी है और आपने कुरान या भगवद गीता का पाठ पढ़ना है, इट डजेंट मेक सेंस. बुद्धिज्म ऑल्सो, actually, in Buddhism, there is a Buddhist physician's vow, and no harm in reading that. This is published in the Indian Journal of Endocrinology Metabolism. And if you are ever tempted to take a shortcut, we have younger boys and girls here, maybe substance abuse, just because you want to get through your MD in AIMS. You are feeling too tired, so you feel substance abuse is an easy way out. That's not right, because God has actually told you not to do that. If you don't want to take care of yourself as a patient living with diabetes, that is also wrong. Because the body that has been given to you, that is a temple that is given by God. How will you be able to think of God if you yourself are sick? And this is wisdom coming from all religions, including Islam, including Judaism. This beautiful table talks about Buddhism, the 4 noble truths of Buddhism, and the 4 noble truths of diabetes care. So if you have a patient who is Buddhist, and how do you know? You have to ask. There is a huge Buddhist population in Uttar Pradesh. From the surname, you may be able to recognize Maurya, Shakya, but if you are not Shakya, but if you are not able to, at least ask. So first, accept that diabetes is a part of life. Then accept that if you continue doing what you are doing, you will continue to remain ill. Then acknowledge that if you change, you can actually have a positive outcome. And then you do the rightful things. And if you do the rightful things, the Noble Eightfold Path, you will actually be able to achieve the right outcome. Continuing with Buddhism, there are multiple teachings in Buddhism that you can directly extrapolate to diabetes care. It is almost as if Lord Buddha wrote these articles for modern diabetes care. Now, we've spoken so much about philosophy, but let's talk about practical things. पेशेंट को आपने मनाना है मॉडरेशन के लिए, तो चाहे बाइबल यूज़ करें, चाहे भगवद गीता. सो बाइबल, अगेन जुडाइज्म, ऑल दीज से दैट यू हैव टू ओबे द रूल्स, यू हैव टू बी मॉडरेट. एंड भगवद गीता क्या कहती है एट द एंड ऑफ इट? ये जो योगा मैं आपको पढ़ा रहा हूँ, लॉर्ड कृष्णा सेज, दिस इज़ नॉट फॉर दोज हु स्लीप टू मच, दिस इज़ नॉट फॉर दोज हु आर हाइपर एक्टिव, इट इज़ नॉट फॉर दोज हु ईट टू मच, इट इज़ नॉट फॉर दोज हु कीप ऑन फास्टिंग. ये गीता के श्लोक हैं, मेरे नहीं हैं. सो मॉडरेशन इज सजेस्टेड इन द गीता एज वेल. Beautiful concept that you get from the Gita and from other spiritual texts also, is about eating and drinking in a healthy manner. Eating just what is adequate, eating what is right, and you can use these. Even for exercise, you get messages from Hinduism, from Sikhism, from the Bible. Sikhism के 3 pillars हैं. नाम जपना, that is meditation or spirituality. Vand chakna, that means sharing with each other. At dinner tonight हम vand चखेंगे, we will share our dinner together. And kirat karni, which is hard work, honest work. So if you believe in Sikhism, so that is how you motivate your patient. आप मानते हैं? हाँ जी, मैं मानता हूँ, मैंने तो जी अमृत छका हुआ है. So किरत करनी का मतलब क्या होता है? Can you extend kirat karni to exercise, to physical activity, to sports? The answer is yes. So then automatically you have one believer in your OPD. And it is not just one believer. That lady will go out into her community. She will tell everybody, वो वाले डॉक्टर साहब को तो Sikhism भी आती है. He used Sikhism to motivate me to take care of my diabetes. पिछले 20 साल से मैं ख्याल नहीं रख रही थी. And then you will find that all her lovely lady friends will also coming back to you. And that is what we see in Dr. Ajay Mahajan's OPD in Hisar. All the lovely lady friends. Allow me to conclude. ये हमारी political philosophy है. So far I have used religious philosophy, spiritual philosophy. And the story can go on and on. But ये political philosophy है India की, सर्वोदय, for the benefit of all. That is what we try to do. And today when we have chosen this topic, inspiration from Indian philosophy, please note that we have not used the word Hindu philosophy. We are trying to be inclusive. अगर मुझसे कोई कमी रह गई हो तो वो मेरी गलती है, मैं माफ़ी मांगता हूँ. The point is to stimulate us to use all this traditional wisdom and knowledge that we have for the benefit of all our patients. अगर आपके पास कोई atheist patient है तो उसके बारे में जानें. Go and read out what is motivating that patient. अगर कोई लाल झंडे वाला है तो you go and use Stalin and Marx to motivate that person. But पूछो तो सही patient को what is it that motivates you, and then you find the right motivational tool. दूसरी हमारी political philosophy है अंत्योदय, for the person at the back. Now अंत्योदय is a very nice concept because it helps me look at the people sitting in the last row and also look at the people who are standing at the back. But that doesn't mean that I will look only at them. I will also look at Dr. Rajiv Khanna and Dr. Rajat Gupta and Dr. Rajneesh Mittal. अरे इतने सारे यार हो गए इकट्ठे. And see them gossiping away to glory. मेरा lecture तो सुन लो गधो. बिकॉज लेक्चर इसलिए सुनना है बिकॉज एक इशू है जिसको सत्याग्रह बोलते हैं. सो महात्मा गांधी ने ये कॉइन किया वर्ड सत्याग्रह मीन्स सर्च फॉर द ट्रूथ. और उन्होंने एक सिंपल सी चीज़ बोली. व्हाट ही सेड वाज दैट इफ़ यू गो टू अ नेगोशिएटिंग रूम और टू द नेगोशिएटिंग टेबल थिंकिंग दैट यू नो द ट्रूथ बट द पर्सन ऑपोजिट यू डजंट नो एनीथिंग एट ऑल, you might lose. You may be unpleasantly surprised. You might come back losing. You might come back not winning. But if you go to the negotiation table, if I go to my OPD thinking that I know some truth, मुझे पता है इंसुलिन की डोज क्या है, मुझे पता है SGLT2 और GLP-1 की डोज क्या है, that is part of the truth. But my patient who is in front of me, the family members who have come, they know another aspect of the truth. The family members know what are the anxiety points, the pain points of their mother. They know how much money they have. They know whether if I say take a 3+3 meal pattern, they know whether the daughter-in-law is actually going to give 6 meals or not going to give. So that is also truth. So satyagraha का मतलब है let us learn all the truth together, let us put it together, all of us win. So in SPEEDCON, please feel free to share your comments, questions, criticism. That is Satyagraha. You will gain, the speaker will also gain, the chairpersons will gain. In the diabetes care OPD, follow Satyagraha, which is a search for the truth. Take a good history, listen with both ears open, and then comment, then prescribe. ये सत्याग्रह की स्टोरी थी. एंड लास्ट टॉपिक, दिस इज कमिंग फ्रॉम भगवद गीता, फ्रॉम लॉर्ड कृष्णा, द एपिटोम ऑफ ह्यूमिलिटी. बहुत सारे हम लोग हैं, मैं अपने आप को भी इंक्लूड करूंगा कुछ हद तक इसमें. मैंने एमडी कर ली, मैंने डीएम कर ली, अब तो दुनिया मेरे कदमों में. आई नो एवरीथिंग देयर इज टू नो, सब लोग मेरा कहना माने. बट व्हाट डिड लॉर्ड कृष्णा से एट द एंड ऑफ द गीता? 18 चैप्टर ख़त्म करके 18th चैप्टर 63rd श्लोक, वो कहते हैं अब अर्जुन मैंने तुझे सब कुछ बता दिया, इससे ज़्यादा मुझे आता नहीं है बताना अभी, इससे ज़्यादा अंग्रेजी हिंदी आती नहीं है. नाउ आई विल हैव टू शिफ्ट टू पंजाबी और हरियाणवी. अब थारी मर्जी. थैंक यू.
आपने सर बहुत अच्छी बात कही. मतलब नॉट ओनली डायबिटीज़, किसी भी बीमारी में फिजिशियंस का रोल को भी आपने बहुत अच्छे तरीके से बताया. सारे रिलीजियस बुक्स में ये कहे गए हैं कि हम क्या खाना है, क्या व्यवहार करना है. गीता की एक पंक्ति है, योगाहार विहारस्य युक्त चेष्टस्य कर्मसु युक्त स्वप्नबोधस्य योगा भवति दुःखः. ये कहता है कि हमें क्या खाना है, कितना सोना है, कब जगना है, कैसा आहार विहार करना है, हमारी एक्टिविटी कैसी होनी चाहिए. सो ऑल द थिंग्स आर मेंशन्ड इन द आवर मतलब ओल्ड होली स्क्रिप्चर्स, बट वी हैव नॉट रेड इट. दैट्स मे बी द वन ऑफ द रीजन. एंड अथर्ववेद में एक चीज़ लिखी हुई है कि व्हेन यू आर हंग्री यू शुड fill your half of the stomach with the food, half with the remaining half, 1/4 with water, and 1/4 should be remain always empty. That will keep you healthy.
Thank you, sir.
So,
Thank you, Dr.
thank you, sir.
Kalra. You have told something different. What we have learned today, the diagnosis, treatment, and many other aspects of the endocrinology problem. But you have told us how to treat a patient, how to manage a patient, how we should guide him so that he takes his medicine properly by citing certain words from, say, from our dharma, like Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism, Sikhism. You know, the Jain guru goes from place to place, walking. So that indirectly tells us that yoga and working or exercise is equally important. They go to the house and take some part of the food, not the whole of it. It means we should eat in a very limited way. And thirdly, they manage to put their mouth closed so that they prevent themselves from infections. This is how we can treat our patients and guide them how to manage our problems, especially in relation to the diabetes. Thank you very much, sir. A very nice lecture. So nice of you.
So just a small comment, sir. Sir, I am trying to speak for everyone present here. Just like Gautam Buddha attained his enlightenment in Gaya, we have achieved our enlightenment listening to you. Here in
Thank you.
Gurugram, under our most beloved Guru.
Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker and Chairpersons, for your rich words. Your session was full of zeal and valuable guidance. Now I would like to invite Dr. Sameer Agarwal onto the stage.
Thank you, all the audience. I can see the pulse being generated now for the musical evening today, and people waiting to join. Thanks all the audience. Thanks our esteemed panelists and speakers. I think we are thankful to our industry partners who have been instrumental in driving SPEEDCON since many years, and it's imperative to say thanks to them. We are lucky to have top industry leaders this evening in SPEEDCON. I think this has happened for the first time since its inception. So to call on first, I request Shri Rajiv Sibbalji, President Lupin, to please come on the stage, and I request Dr. Sanjay Kalra sir to please felicitate Shri Rajiv Sibbalji. ये भी आएंगे स्टेज, वो आगे से. Thank you, Sibbalji. Thanks to Lupin team. Thank you. Thank you. We have Senior Vice President, CBD Cluster of Sun Pharma, Shri Shailesh Joshi ji, to please come on the stage. I request Dr. Saptrishi Bhattacharya to please felicitate Shri Shailesh Joshi ji. Thank you. Thank you, Sun Pharma. We have BFI head from Biocon, Shri Ajit Pal Singh ji, in our audience today. Thank you, Shri Ajit Pal ji, for joining. I request our organizing secretary for SPEEDCON, Dr. Vineet Surana, to please felicitate Shri Ajit Pal ji. Thank you, Biocon, for being here. We are honored to have Shri Ripan Puri ji from BI, Boringar. Do we have him here? Okay, thank you. I request our founder president of SPEED, Dr. Rajiv Singla, to please felicitate Shri Ripan Puri ji. Thank you. We have Senior Marketing Manager from Sanofi, Sai Girdhar ji. इसके बाद बचा ना एक ले लो Doctor, I request our Treasurer of the Society, Dr. Deepak Khandelwal, to please honor Sai Girdhar ji. We have Senior Director from Novo Nordisk, Manish Malhotra ji. Thank you, Manish ji, for joining from Novo Nordisk. It's an honor to have you here. I request Dr. Saptrishi Bhattacharya, our past president of SPEED, very dynamic in designing the scientific program, along with Dr. Rajiv Singla, to please felicitate Manish Malhotra ji. We are thankful to our rest of the industry partners. Someone, I think many missed out because of some medical emergencies. Thank you, Cipla, Mankind, Intas, Torrent, for being supportive and doing the things and felicitating the things for, since many years for SPEEDCON. Thank you all, and I think we can have the music and the dinner.